timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! 13! 13! Can you believe it?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver, as always, joined by the big fella, Al Devine.
Oh, geez, you nearly stuck my name up there. Didn't know what to say.
Three votes, Al Devine. Don't hear that often.
How are you, my friend?
Not too bad, not as happy as you as a Teasel fan. But
Yep, the great man.
hasn't changed from
He's a
last
king.
week. Disappointing.
Nah, that's why it stayed there, because he's just it's a three-man race with the Rookie of the Year, I reckon, in my eyes. But
Oh, well,
we'll
that's
see how it's
funny that you said that. But
him
first,
Ashcroft and what's his name, from St Kilda.
Philippou.
That's the one. I didn't want to go down the path and make it sound really, really bad, so I just left that.
Well,
So I appreciate you coming in there.
I better introduce our other person. He's had the same background for the last 2 years, and that's our mystery man, Sharpie.
How are we?
Not bad. I'm hoping that we can get another rant like the Brooks one last week.
That was elite. No more of that, please.
You prepared for something like that, Sharpie?
Oh, I mean, he's got dumb shit to say all the time, so
That's going to be his comment of the week again. It's going to be a Dylan Brooks thing. All right. So why I found it funny is because you said Rookie of the Year, and my first thing I wanted to bring up is the Rookie of the Year race. Now,
Yeah, look at me go. See, I knew this.
Now, Paolo has led, obviously, like by a clear amount, a clear margin for nearly all the year. And now Jalen Williams, since I know OKC fan, I'm probably getting too hyped up, but
Probably.
he's probably been the best rookie since the All-Star break and has had an unreal run since All-Star break. Now, you could argue this happened last year, that Evan Mobley, I still think, should have been Rookie of the Year. He had the most consistent year all the way through, and then Barnes finished off strong and got Rookie of the Year. Do any of you think that there's a serious, like, whether Paolo still might win it, obviously, but do you think there's a case to be made that he could lose it to Williams in these last 10 games? Or I'll go to you first.
no.
Oh, Sharpie, I'll go to you first.
Sorry, I thought you were asking. There was a little pause there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. You go first, though.
Sorry, Lockie.
No.
I don't think there's going to be much difference. I mean, Paolo's pretty much been locked in for Rookie of the Year before All-Star, so
Even shooting 1 of 33 from 3.
yeah. Well, I mean, Ben Simmons didn't shoot a three his whole rookie year, and he won it.
That's true. He didn't play his whole rookie year, to be fair. I just wanted to get that out there because I still think they two completely different players. One's the first option, one's the third option. And I honestly think Jalen Williams is going to be an elite defender. So I think he's not going to win deeply or anything, but he's going to be a great player. But we'll move on to something that happened today. And I know we're not going to go into the MVP side of things, but Embiid missed the matchup against Denver in Denver. Obviously, it's an MVP sort of matchup. Do you think that will hurt his case for MVP or anything, or are you a bit surprised that he's actually done that? Because I know American media is going off about it. Even Perk said something about him dodging, and he's an Embiid person. So I guess, Sharpie, we'll go to you properly this time first. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's got to be a big deal at all, or?
I think it makes him look a bit soft, but I mean, if it was his decision to sit out, then that's on him. But if it was Philly's decision to not let him play, I mean, did Harden even play? I didn't even see him.
Harden's been out for the last 2 weeks, though.
Has he? I haven't even noticed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Jokic is still playing, and Embiid's not afraid, and Embiid's afraid of a big matchup by the looks of it. So
Well, they could have rested one of the other games, like the Suns or something, before that on a back-to-back. I don't think this was a
but then he'd be
back-to-back.
questioned for not playing against the Suns as well, though.
Oh, not as
problem.
not as much. This
No,
one,
but
people
the
are
Suns are still
arguing.
gonna be good.
People are arguing that like Jokic showed up in Philly, but I don't know if it's. I could be wrong here, but I've heard something about Joel Embiid not played in Denver in the last 3 years. So whenever they've played there, he's either been injured or sat out, or and that's a pretty big difference because Denver's obviously high altitude. It could have some effect on away players. I've never been there, so I wouldn't know. But you would presume it would have some sort of effect. But what do you think, Lockie? Do you think it will have any impact on the voters taken into consideration? Maybe Giannis moves
surely
up.
Not. Surely not. If it's affected by that, then far out. Just off one game, like that's a bit ridiculous if you ask me. But hey, it's America. Who would know?
I was about to say it's the American media. So what can you expect?
Who would know what's going to happen?
I don't think it should, but it is disappointing. Like, there's been this like a close debate the whole season. And he's publicly come out and said that he thinks he should be the MVP or whatever, but the media doesn't like him. But then he doesn't play the one game or one of the few games all year that he should be playing if he wants to make a case.
That's the thing. That sort of stuff, he's not doing himself any favors. But
yeah, but he did have a calf strain, so he might have a slight injury. If he returns to the next game, then it's a bit debatable. If he sits out next game as well, then fair play. But I just wanted your thoughts on that. But we'll stay with Philly. We talked about the contenders and everything in the West, so we haven't touched on the East a bit. But Milwaukee and Boston are the top two teams, and then there's Philly. When you think of contenders, do you have Philly with those two teams, or do you think that those two teams are a tier above, and then there's Philly and I'm trying to think who's the fourth seed, Cleveland. Do you think they're a tier below, or do you think Philly's up there with Milwaukee and Boston? Sharpie.
You go, Sharpie.
What was the question? Sorry.
You go, Lockie.
Okay. I think they're a tier below.
Yeah.
Honestly, just me personally. Not by a lot, but I don't see them as as big a contender as Boston and Milwaukee personally. But there's been games where they've been really, really, really good, and Harden and Embiid look really good together, and then there's games where they don't. So I just don't think they've been as consistent as Boston and Milwaukee, but that's just my personal opinion.
In saying that, you said that you don't think they're as serious bigger contender as the other team. Do you still consider them a serious contender to make it out of the East, though, or do you feel like it's going to be Boston or Milwaukee?
I feel like it could be Boston or Milwaukee, but I still wouldn't be surprised if they've got enough there to be able to do it. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd give Boston and Milwaukee a better chance than Philly at the moment, personally.
I think it comes down to how, obviously Harden's historically gone missing in the playoffs, in game 6 and 7 and stuff.
Has not helped his case.
Yeah, but it'll also be with Embiid's attitude. When something goes wrong in the playoffs, Embiid I don't want to use the word he's sooky, but he does complain a lot when the going gets tough.
Yep.
But Sharpie, what are your thoughts?
Not going to say it.
On Embiid?
Do you think the Philly are a tier below Milwaukee and Celtics as contenders, or do you think they belong on the same tier?
I think they're just a tier below. I mean, you can go both ways with that, I feel.
In saying that, what about Cleveland and Philly?
I'd put Philly above Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland and that's probably going to be you can say that now, but then you look at next year, what Cleveland are going to be like. I reckon Cleveland will be above Philly.
Yeah, I think they need that 1 year to get to it. But I agree with you. So I think Philly could make it out of the East, but it all depends down to how Harden goes, really. And I don't trust him enough. And obviously, like Tobias Harris can go missing, Maxey can have a good game and then not have a good game for the next 3 games. So
is this year the last year that we see Tobias Harris there?
I feel like for Philly's standpoint, they probably would like that.
Yeah.
Well, heaps of people.
Hasn't he got a pretty hefty contract though?
Oh yeah, his contract's huge. He got a big contract
I
at the Clippers when he had that really good year with that team that somehow made it.
That's the thing. They get paid so much money off one good year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's absolutely insane. It's a bit like bloody Luke Jackson, which we'll probably touch on later. But Jesus, like,
it's just stupid.
But it's like, you're having one good year at work. No worries. Here's a massive pay rise. Next year, you fucking get sacked.
Don't do anything.
Anyway.
But in saying that, I've completely lost track. Fuck now. God, you just. Oh, we're talking.
Sorry,
about Philly.
all my fault. Something about Philly.
No, there's been rumors, and there's always going to be rumors about it, that if the Sixers aren't like successful, say, make the Eastern Conference Finals at least, that Harden could go to, say, Houston or something. I don't ever see that happening. He could end up eventually back at Houston, but I can't imagine that happening at the end of this year. I think Harden will stay. But yeah, they're a tier below in my eyes. I think them and Cleveland are on the same tier, just because of the style of basketball that Cleveland plays.
So do I. I honestly have more faith in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're more. I don't know. I just feel like they're more of a team. Like, they haven't got any big egos or anything like that. They're just a really level keel team that. That's just me personally. I feel like Philly are too up and down. Like, when they're going well, like Embiid's like, I'm fucking the best player in the world, and when they're not, he's cracking the sads and sitting out games.
And blaming Ben Simmons.
Don't get me started. Now he's out for the rest of the year anyway.
Yeah. Poor bloke. I actually kind of feel bad for him, but I know he's done a lot of it to himself. Obviously, he hasn't done the
100%. But obviously, when your body's not doing what you want it to do, then it's bloody hard to get on the park. And obviously, with your body the last 18 months, it's bloody hard.
You just hope that it's not like a Greg Oden situation or something like that.
Correct.
Just ruin their career because of the injury, and obviously the mental health crap hasn't helped. But I guess that's the scrutiny you come under as an NBA player earning that much money.
That's the thing. Yep.
Anyway,
when you're getting paid that much money, what do? You got to back it up. Yeah. Unfortunately, some people would kill for an opportunity like that.
So we're moving on to our last couple of things for the NBA. Now, this one I said I'll bring in this week, and it's 3 players, and I've started off with some 3 interesting players. Overrated, underrated, right now. So not career-wise, you could go this season and right now. So not like the last 5 years or 4 years or 3 years. You can if you want. But so overrated, underrated. The first player, Donovan Mitchell. Who wants to take it away? Well, actually, first of all, we'll go Lockie, Sharpie, then I'll go. So we get a set order. Yeah. So Donovan Mitchell.
Does it have to be under or over, or can you just say?
You can make
your argument, that's what I reckon. But you got to say one or the other slightly. You got to choose one or the other, and it has to be. It can be slight as hell.
I'd probably say just overrated. If obviously that is not my just purely because of this fucking segment. It's not what I think at all. But if I had to choose one, it'd just be overrated. Purely probably because of the hype that surrounds him.
Yeah,
I think.
Sharpie.
But in my eye, he's not. He's perfectly rated where he is.
I reckon I'm going to go the opposite. And just say slightly underrated. This guy's a star, and it's just awesome. He's awesome to watch. For even when he was at Utah and to now, and just shows like how much he's grown. Like he's 26 now. Like I remember when he was a rookie and all that. Like not many people knew about him.
Yeah, knew much of him. Yeah.
But like I'm not saying like he was an unknown player. Like he was very good in college, but I just don't think he gets enough attention as a lot of other people do.
Mm.
Well, that's interesting because I've gone overrated, but and I know hater of everyone. I just think he's a bit overrated, but like you said, the hype around him. I've always held the argument that he's not a superstar, but he's a star because he's not consistent. Whenever you watch him, he can go for 40, he can go. Hell, he had 70 this year, but he also has game where he has 15 points, 16 points, 14 points, and it's like a superstar that's predominantly a scorer. He's not like mainly a playmaker or anything, but he's mainly a scorer and he's a good defender. But I think if you're doing that, you can't be having those drop-offs as a superstar. So I think he's slightly overrated. And obviously the Jazz, if you look at that Jazz team, like they underachieved. I know we don't want to go back too far, but I think they underachieved with the team that they had. Like prime Rudy Gobert. I think like Rudy Gobert when he was good.
Don't ask me about him.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I think about him.
But like
I think about him.
That Jazz team, they cooked OKC. I can't remember who they. But like, I honestly think I don't know how they.
That's a massive achievement.
They just played weird basketball, and they played boring basketball, and they didn't do what they should have done. And maybe that's because they didn't use. I know Gobert can't do everything, much on offense, but I feel like he still could have been used better in that offense in certain series. But like I think they versed the Clippers or something, and they they lost to the Clippers without Paul George or Kawhi when bloody Terrence Mann went off. So
that's the thing. That sort of stuff shouldn't happen with that team. I agree with that. But it was still Donovan Mitchell, and then
I don't think they should make a championship, but I think they should have at least made. Did they make Western? No, they made the second round, but I thought they should have made the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I reckon that would have been. I don't know. With the way that the West has been, I couldn't see them beating anyone.
Yeah, the West has always been the tougher conference, and we're starting to see a bit of a shift, mate. Oh, not a shift, but somewhat. But next player now, this one will be interesting. Jayson Tatum.
I think Jesus. I think he's been underrated up until the last 2 years, in my opinion. Well, I probably didn't rate him as much. That's probably me speaking more than anything. But yeah, I think up until the last couple of years, I think he's been pretty underrated, to be honest.
Yeah. Sharpie?
Only because there's been probably so many, there's so much talk around them and so much all the draft picks and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's just been so much movement with Kyrie and all that sort of thing that happened as well. That he just went under the radar and he just quietly got better every year. So that's what I think anyway.
Yeah. Sharpie?
No, I think he's underrated. I think Lockie summed that up well.
Thanks, man.
I think he was like you said, underrated. Like that series where they versed the Cavs and he did that dunk and bumped LeBron on the way back. Like watching that young Celtics team was just unreal to watch. But
they were one Terry Rozier a good game away from making the finals.
Yes, big scary Terry.
Scary.
But like that team was fun to watch, and like I love Tatum. I really do. I think the last year or so, if I had to choose, he might slightly be overrated now because they're saying, like, I don't think he's in the MVP race this year, but obviously American media is putting him top 3, top 4, whether that's because they're pushing an American player to be in the MVP race. But like, I think
surely it's not.
I think it's because the only reason I put him slightly overrated is because I feel like it comes at the detriment of Jaylen Brown. Like, Jaylen Brown didn't get appreciated for a very long time, I feel. And now he's just starting to get...
he's been huge this year.
Yeah, and he's only just starting to get more acknowledgement, really. But
yeah,
he's going to be a Nick next year.
But now he's like coming out on Instagram and Twitter and everything and starting talking shit. And I'm like, about their fans and everything. I'm like, mate, you just had you're having your career best year, and now you...
I think some of the stuff he's saying about the Boston,
100%.
The racism thing, obviously, you you're definitely in the right to say whatever you want about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a history behind it.
And he hasn't, it's not like he's been going about it the wrong way. Like, he's done it really well, but yeah, it's interesting. Like, just like the timing of it all, it's just like, oh boy, it's a bit, But no, good on him. Like, he's got to speak up about that sort of stuff. So good on him.
Now, last one. This year,
Jaylen Brown.
based off this year, Draymond Green.
Oh Jesus! You can attack this from so many different angles.
Yeah, and that's why I found it as a interesting one to start off with. I'll go first.
I'd probably say overrated.
Yeah,
I'd probably say overrated, to be honest. But within their team, he's very underrated.
Yeah.
Internally, he won't be. Like, he's one of those players internally that stage. Why does it always happen every single podcast that Siri goes off on my watch? He's just one of those players that you want on your team that no one else would.
Yeah. Like Dylan Brooks.
You know what you're going to... No, he's a different level. I wouldn't even fucking... No. That's what I think. He's very underrated within the team, but I think he's overrated purely because of fucking all the other shit.
Sharpie?
You could say he's underrated because he's overrated, sorry, because he doesn't offer much other than defense. But to have a player like him in your team is very important.
Yeah, he's a great leader. Great leader. You can't knock him for that. No way.
Yeah, no. Well, I think he was pretty underrated going through the championships. Like, I know he was talked about a bit about his leadership and stuff, but everyone still looked to Clay and Steph, and for obvious reasons. But
for obvious reasons, but like he's still correct in a way, yeah.
And he's kicking.
In a way, he's also not
kicking Steven Adams in the balls, the coward.
Yeah.
Okay, so he should have won a championship, but we'll move
on. Oh, here we go. Someone's a bit salty.
Yep, still. Game 6 Clay pisses me off. But no, but I think this year, like, it's got to a point, like, he's talking back and forth with Dylan Brooks, obviously. And I think the last 2 times they've versed now, Memphis has beaten them both times. And I think one of them was without Jar. And Dylan Brooks had a pretty good game against him, and Draymond didn't do much. But I think this year, I think he's slightly overrated because everyone's got to that point where they started appreciating for what he did and his leadership and everything. But now it's like a lot of people forget that he bloody sucker punched Jordan Poole at the start of the season. And it was caught on camera and it got leaked out and everything. And like, I don't know if they've internally figured that out or not. But I think he's slightly overrated this year because like you're just not seeing that same effect that he had. Like they've got their full team basically without Wiggins, but they just can't win on the road. And it's the only reason why I think he's slightly overrated this year. But like you said, you can go both ways. All right, on to comment of the week. Now, I know Sharpie just said Sharpie told us that he hasn't got one for this week, unless he's changed.
Nah, I still haven't. Sorry.
Lockie, have you got one? Because I've got one.
I kind of do. I don't remember it word for word, but it was someone said that Ben Simmons is becoming the new Greg Oden.
Is this me from 5 minutes ago?
No. Well, yes, but no, because I believe our great friend Liam said that as well during the week. And I don't know whether it's a dumb comment or not. At the moment, I feel like it is, but down the track, it very well could be the opposite, because I could agree. But that is mine for the week, because at the moment I don't necessarily agree with it, because I still think he's been a lot better than the great man Greg Oden. Personally.
Sharpie, we need to get Lockie back because he's the only one that hasn't actually.
Did I say that?
I think you did.
Yeah, during the week you did.
I think I was naming players that were injured a lot. I said like Brandon Roy and all that.
Yeah, it's when we were talking about that, and I reckon you said something about him becoming the new Greg Oden. That was the first thing. And then when Ollie said it, it rejigged my memory. I'm like, he said that during the week.
I'm trying to find mine. I'm panicking, but I'm panicking now.
Oh, look at the sweat you can see. I
had it up, and now I can't find it on Twitter. And I want to get it. I want to get it right because it's pretty interesting. Fuck me dead.
You're pretty interesting.
I know I'm very interesting. So just talk about Greg Oden for a sec while I try and find this because this is really triggering me.
We'll talk about Greg
Ben
Oden.
Simmons. Ben Simmons.
Because we know so much about Greg Oden.
Oh, he was good on 2K.
We'll talk about Greg Oden. Okay, so Gregory Wayne Oden, born January 22nd, 1988, is an American former professional basketball player. Oden, at 7 foot, 213 centimeters, played college basketball at Ohio State Buckeyes for one season, during which the team was the Big Ten Conference regular season champion and Big Ten Conference men's basketball tournament champion. We go with Oden as the
I think
MOP.
You can stop now.
Additionally, Oden and the Buckeyes were the tournament runner-up in the NCAA Division I basketball championship.
I can't find mine, but I'm gonna do a rough quote of it. I'm gonna do a rough quote of it, and it's like I was told on the first what is it? I've been the person to recover from the injury the fastest, or some.
LeBron.
Yeah, that is. I find it ridiculous.
He said he's got LeBron James of feet.
Yeah, correct.
So does that mean your feet go 4 and 10 in the finals? 4 and 6 in the finals.
Here we go.
He's got 14 toes.
Here we go.
Do you have the super team of fucking toes that carrier?
Instead of 10 toes, he's got 4.
He's got 4 on one foot and 6 on the other.
You got toe.
No, but I just think I think it's pretty. He didn't need to come out and say that.
Oh, I mean, for a person that calls himself the fucking king, he's that shit's pretty.
But that
mild.
They're both kind of just why. Like you don't say you've gone to the LeBron James of the foot doctors. You just say that you've gone to the best foot doctor or whatever the fuck you want to say. But I don't like. Did he say that he's the fastest person to ever heal from that? Because like you hear other.
He did.
Did he though?
Yeah, he definitely did.
Right.
That's what I think the doctors were saying that he's the fastest person to recover from
LeBron's quoted as saying it. So whether the doctors said it to him,
I'll get the quote and then I'll believe you.
I can't find it. I tried to, but
yeah,
that's my dumb
try and
comment.
schmine.
So LeBron's featured twice. Lockie's hasn't. What did you get? Do you have the quote? Then I heard it in the background.
Yeah, I got the video up.
Oh,
yeah, geez, that took you a while, Sharpie, didn't it? Fuck, it must have been hard to find.
Why did you decide to because I went to LeBron James? Well, that wasn't the.
that wasn't the.
Well, I went to LeBron James. Well, that wasn't the. Well, I went to LeBron James. Well, that wasn't the. Well, I went to LeBron James. Well, that wasn't the. Well, I went to LeBron James.
Well, that wasn't the.
That was it.
No,
that's exactly what you were talking about.
That part that he was about to go on to, where he says, they said that I'm the fastest to ever recover from an injury like
There's not
this.
anymore. Like in that video, there's not anymore
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
only a short thing because it's LeBron Bleacher Report.
Yeah, that's my point. I couldn't find that last bit. I didn't want the first bit, but thank you, Sharpie.
Yeah, well, Bleacher Report aren't going to post that because they just love sucking off LeBron. So
yeah, exactly.
Rich.
Yeah, how do I love sucking him off?
So we've had Sharpie feature, me feature, LeBron feature twice, Dylan Brooks
LeBron's
nearly every.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. I got a Dylan Brooks shithousery comment.
Yeah, he's been a bit quiet, so
they haven't done much.
How it should be.
Good. He fucking paid attention. He shut up finally.
He listened last week.
Yeah, good.
He saw the TikTok.
Leave the NBA.
Let's move to the AFL. We'll start with
Leave the NBA.
We'll start with the Thursday night game, which was Carlton Geelong. Now, holy fuck, Jeremy Cameron is one of the best players in the league, obviously.
Absolute star.
And Charlie Kerner, as much as I don't like him, he is as well. Mackay, I'm not sold on Mackay. But
really?
Massive
comment.
Like, he's tall, he's lanky, he's good, Mark. I think he'd be better in a different team. But
wowzers!
I honestly think
the GOAT coming out with hot takes. Fuck.
I know I'm not a fan of him, but come to Richmond, so we'll give you Jack a lot. He's retiring, so hopefully.
Oh yeah, that's a fair trade.
But
Sharpie.
No, it's I want a fair trade. Sorry.
Shut up.
But Carlton came out with a win. Does anyone have any comments on this game? Because I watched most of it, but
Geelong are in trouble against very quick teams.
Well, too old, too slow.
Mm-hmm.
Just like last
Geelong
year.
Nah, it's I think it shows how big a loss Tom Stewart is for them.
Yeah,
they just don't have that real that other defender. Like, obviously, they're very young. They got Radigaleo and De Koning. They need that other defender to be able to. A whole lot of their offense comes from Stewart, like intercepting and hitting those targets coming out. Like, it's such a massive loss having him not playing at the moment. It's massive.
And I know they're 0-2, but I think Usava is going to build it. Like, he's already building into that role so well.
Yeah,
he gets his hands on everything. And
yeah,
him with De Koning,
he does, but there's still times where
there
were times on the weekend where he shouldn't have went and he did, and vice versa. So that's going to come. Like, they've only had one preseason with him really down back, but the signs are good. Like, he's a good defender. He doesn't score a lot for your fantasy, but he's a player that's a really, really, really good stopper. He's a Jack Lear, the great man Jack Lear.
3 disposals. That's all you need.
Correct.
My inspiration. Getting 3 disposals. Anyway. Are you still there, Lockie? Yeah, I thought so. Brisbane, Melbourne. Now, this game, the power went. Did you see this, Sharpie?
Brisbane, Melbourne.
Yeah, did you watch it at all?
I watched the first half.
You missed the power ad. Oh
my
God.
Yeah.
Power
I think I went to bed
outage.
after that. I think I went to bed. I went to bed before that. Sorry.
It was like all the commentators are just making jokes, and it was actually pretty funny because like I like Richo on the commentary team, and BT's just fucking. I'm not a fan of BT, but it was weird because Brisbane were up 40, and then Melbourne just stormed back in the last 10 minutes and only lost by 11 points.
Yeah, honestly, when are we moving away from the world of BT commentating football games?
Yeah, it's
fucking hell, man. He genuinely sucks.
Every single kick. Is he going to go around the corner or is he going to go for a drop? You can
but
already tell by the way he's lining up.
His job somewhat is to like keep the conversation flowing, but he always asks questions of everybody else. Like, what would you do here? Like, mate, like, what are you there for? Honestly.
He's the worst. No, he's the second worst commentator behind Underwood. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kelly Underwood's horrible. She had another really, really, really good piece of commentary on the weekend too.
Poor.
I'll have to see if I can bring it up actually because it was.
I think Sam sent it
fucking
into the group
bad.
last night.
Yes, he did. He did.
Sharpie's second team won. So Collingwood absolutely thrashed Port Adelaide. That's good.
I was at that game.
He's definitely their first team now because Jesus,
Yeah,
his first team, his first team is not traveling well at all.
I was at the Collingwood game on the weekend. It was a very interesting game.
Were you in that fight?
At
the end between the Collingwood fans?
No, it was not. I didn't even know there was.
Oh, you should have been. Coward.
If it was down the Collingwood end, I was down pretty much the Port Adelaide end on the 50.
Trader. Now you got a third team.
Of course you were.
Third team.
Yeah, I got my seats, but okay.
Defensive.
Real question here. Do you any of you think Nick Dacos is like obviously he's going to have a good year, even though I said it's not going to be.
Oh, now he is.
Even though I said it's not going to be as good as his last year, but do any of you think that he is a serious contender for the Brownlow? Like he's joint favourite now.
This is going to make me fucking sound like a dickhead because I didn't rate him at all coming out of the draft, and now he's making me look stupid.
So you're going to say yes?
Yes, he is.
I'm going to stick
genuinely.
With no. I'm going to stick with
genuinely.
No. I'm still not sold
I did
on
put money on LDU the other day too at $17.
$17? North Melbourne aren't going to win that many. We'll get to.
What about Tom Lynch?
Excuse me.
Norm Smith?
He's got 2 best ons already because we won both games.
It's all about
That's
Tom.
6 votes.
It's all about Tom
That's
Lynch
more than
winning
any
the Norm
Richmond players
Smith.
have got so far this year. You cat.
It's all about Tom Lynch winning the Norm Smith. So,
shut up.
We'll come back in a moment.
The only thing is going to win this year.
We'll be back in a moment. All right, and we're back. I don't know what Lockie's doing. He looks like an old grandpa with his thing.
Oh, thanks, bro.
You're welcome. You basically are a grandpa. You're like 30.
This guy.
Cheap shots.
Yeah,
how does that make you feel? No, we'll actually get to that later.
Thanks.
Nick Dacos, though, that goal that he got was very good, but I want to see him go in the midfield more. Like,
so do I.
I want to see him get and I'm not judging him for getting handballs.
What about that goal?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it works for Collingwood, then as much
100%.
as I hate Collingwood, but
he will be a midfielder in the future.
Even Noble coming off both sides for Collingwood.
Oh, Noble is underrated.
Noble played so well. He's been like that the whole time, like his whole career for Collingwood. He's just been so good. Never gets tackled.
He does his role.
Oh, is it Scott Pendlebury?
Dacos's goal leading into Pendlebury with the Pendlebury over the head handball.
Trent Cotchin's better than
that.
Pendlebury.
Was just,
and Bobby Hill.
No, pull your head in.
Mate,
Bobby Hill kicked a nice goal.
Pull your head in.
It looked like Cyril's
Pendlebury's been in a much higher level for a much longer period of time.
How do we want to debate this?
Oh my god!
Because Cotchin's a 3-time premiership captain and a Brownlow medalist.
He's a 2-time premiership captain.
He's a 3-time.
2-time. Actually, yeah, 3-time. No, 1-time actually, because both of those were Mickey Mouse.
Fuck off. Anyways, 3-time premiership captain and a Brownlow medalist. And I don't want to hear any judgments on the Brownlow because Sam Mitchell deserved one for the career he had. And
if it wasn't for Dusty, you wouldn't have any of them. So shut up.
That's true. But you could make that argument for Collingwood if they didn't have some of their superstars. It wouldn't if they didn't have Dane Swan.
If you take one of their superstars out, they'd be fine.
If they didn't have they didn't have Dane Swan in that premiership team, they wouldn't have won.
Bullshit.
I'm telling you now. They drew.
I think they would have been fine.
An interesting one. I'd actually like to see what all our very loyal and 10 fans think of that.
And
I'd actually be very interested to see what Benjamin Hicks and a few of the other boys have to say about that.
And I don't understand how, like, when I dislike Pendlebury, I don't hate him because he's a shit character.
No, I get it. I get it.
Like, he's a good player. I just don't like him, and I don't like Collingwood. But
sounds like you hate him.
And like, I can see, for example, I see why people hate Tom Lynch. I'm not gonna try and protect Tom Lynch. But
Yeah, he's a
Cotchin,
shit cunt.
Cotchin, when he became when he was a bit younger, he was a bit interesting. But when he got given the captaincy, I don't think he stepped a foot wrong.
I agree.
In barely
he's been
anything.
good, but I just don't think he's been as good for as long a period of time as Pendlebury has.
If you're going long, it's like Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Longevity versus short. No, not short, but like still a good stint of. But yeah, they both changed their games. They both adjusted, but I'm sticking with that point. We'll move on to Richmond versus Adelaide. Richmond nearly fucking choked it against Adelaide. That was hard to watch. Dusty got subbed out on 14 disposals. Hopefully it's not too bad of an injury. But I'm going to Richmond.
So he got subbed out, did he?
Yeah, on 14 in the third. And fourth. And it was my last leg under my multi. So, but
you care about. Nice.
I'm going to Richmond Collingwood Friday night. So Collingwood fans are really good. So, that I don't like them, but they make for a good atmosphere. But
who does like them?
Collingwood fans.
No Nathan Broad this week for you either.
Oh yes, I'm bringing. That is not fucking 4 weeks. That is not 4 weeks. 100%
it is.
That is not 4 weeks.
No,
that is robbery.
They have to set a standard
An example.
on that and take a stance.
But like, I get,
and unfortunately,
I completely get it. But if that's and I know this is going to be the whole thing, the whole year. If it's a star of the game, that's 1 week or that's 2 weeks. Like if that was Dangerfield, and I think Dangerfield did the exact same thing last year, and he got 1 week.
Yeah, this is the thing now. Like now that they've done this, they need to do it for
they need to be consistent with that.
And
that's the thing. If they do it for the rest of the year, then fine. I'd take back my anger, but I honestly don't see them handing out 4-game suspensions for that because people are just going to argue. Well, a good tackle is pinning their arms. Like I know you don't want to sling them to the ground and smack their head into the thing, but then you're going to get people not wanting to pin people's arms. And in a tackle, so you're losing a bit of the game, but obviously player health is a main priority.
Yeah, it's got to be your number one priority with that.
Yeah. There's a video that I'm quickly trying to find.
I mean, he openly admitted to the Adelaide players that he was in the wrong there, and he shouldn't have done that. Yeah, and apologized to them and everything.
But that's the thing, like. There's things like the bump that Cozzy Pickett did. Now, I'm not saying that's as bad as this, but like Cozzy Pickett, he knew what he was doing. He full on knew that he was going to jump in and bump him. Broad was just trying to tackle him, and like I guess
I think it's because he tackled him out of bounds, and like he kept tackling him like when he was already out of bounds.
Yeah, well, it's borderline, but it's like I think that's the whole thing with a lot of tackles that. Like you can't control a lot of momentum, and even if you're going out of bounds, you're probably going to finish your tackle rather than let go halfway. From my experience, from my very
but do you need to keep going with that sort of tackle though?
Yeah, well, that's an argument you could make, and I'm not too
like
sure.
You already know you shouldn't be slinging players.
Did you find the video, Lockie, or are you?
I'm trying to.
All good. We'll move on while you try and find one. But Bulldogs St Kilda, Sharpie's first team.
It was a terrible game. Yep, we sucked. Yep, end of conversation.
Red Richards still making a Brownlow push.
Yeah.
You're not too happy, are you?
I didn't get to watch most of it because I was on my way back from Melbourne.
Oh, because your second team played.
Sure. But from what I was watching, they just had no desire to put any sort of pressure on St Kilda when they had the ball. When St Kilda had the ball.
Yeah.
And they just let them happily walk through the midfield and put it in their own forward 50.
And they got within 4 points. And then
they didn't kick a goal in the first quarter, which was disappointing. they kicked, I think, 5 in the second. Then they didn't do much in the third, and then they didn't do anything in the fourth, I think.
I found it funny, so funny. But no, I did find it funny that when Cordy kicked that goal after the siren at halftime, and he was starting to get into it with the Bulldogs players, obviously a former Bulldogs player and a premiership winner. And like players were getting into him, and then they all started breaking away. Bont had actually walked away, and then after everyone else had gone up to him, he went up to him and gave him a bit of shit, and then Cordy got even more pissed off. I love that. I love a bit of I wouldn't say it's a rivalry.
Argy-bargy.
Yeah, but like I love that he used to play for him, and there's no like friendly, like obviously you want it to be a bit friendly, but like you like to see these sort of things where players go up against their old teams. There's a bit of feeling in the game. And not everyone's best friends after the game. Like you want to see a bit of. That's why I like Tom Lynch.
That's what I'd do with you if you went to another team.
There's got to be players
100%.
to hate. There's got to be players to hate in the league to make it enjoyable. Like your Ryan Crowleys. People like I miss Ryan Crowley because I miss a tagger like him, like watching people tag. But
yeah,
him and Ballantyne, I couldn't stand Ballantyne, but he was good to watch.
Yeah, correct.
Personally, were you able to find the video at all?
Yep. Where is this fucking thing? Should.
Cody Doggy. Oh, is this you a year ago on TV?
No.
The audio's not working.
Audio coming through?
No.
This is going to be the only problem. I don't know if the audio is going to come through for you.
No, it's not so far.
Hang on.
Anyway, while he's doing that, what was the next AFL game? Jeez, I can't. I'm
on 2 feet and fighting a tackle. You can be critical of a guy who's just hugging him. Like, come on, you got to actually try to like
help me here. Yeah,
take him down. Elliott there on one leg, looking to kick it, his momentum going that way. It's very hard in the moment to gauge how much force do I apply here. Now, I'm not saying that that's okay. That's clearly not okay. But I have some kind of sympathy for the tackler when the play with the ball is really unbalanced. Well, the difference there is chalk and cheese.
Sympathy for Broad?
Look, I think what will happen with this, there's like all changes in the game, as Ross said. Like it used to, not only was that okay, that was applauded, and it's like the bump now. If you're, and I actually disagree. The players, I don't think Broad's trying to hurt him.
No,
I think he's like, oh my God, what have I done? And so now the shift will be, if you're going to sling a player to the ground, you're liable, so don't do it. Like you're better off sort of taking him down with your weight.
The nuance of the power of the player, you know, the amount of leg weights that they drive with power. So not only do we expect them to stop the play with the ball who's powering through, takes all your force, all your skill to stick that tackle, but then at the end, you just got to control it to a slow finish. Like the degree of difficulty is huge.
I think that's a great way to put it. Like how do you stop share screening? I think that's perfectly put, because like how hard is it to tackle someone just like straight down rather than like twisting the body, or like it's hard to get them down to the ground if you're not actually trying to swing them one way or another. Especially, like I said, AFL players do a lot of leg weights. They've got a lot of core strength.
Oh, they're so strong.
It makes it just as hard. Like you can't. It's not. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but like it's very difficult to get a tackle without doing some sort of swinging motion.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like if you just tackle someone and like just cuddle them and then don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like when they're in a vulnerable position, you're going to be like, oh, this bloke's soft. Like he should have absolutely fucking driven him to the ground. Like it is such a fine line between doing that and like Ross Lyons said, like doing something that's a bit more gentle and not completely like, it's such a fine line. Like you've literally just got to tackle someone and pretty much fall to the ground and just not do anything. As soon as you start slinging someone, you're in all sorts of trouble. But they know this. Like that's the thing. All the players know this, but he still did it. So yeah, the bump and everything is a really, really big talking point.
How much did the Port Adelaide player get?
Hey,
how much did the Port Adelaide player get? Like for that tackle?
I don't know if it's come out yet.
Because
know.
It'd be interesting to see, but
yeah,
I think they put it perfectly, and I think that's actually a good
clip.
100%. And you love to hear coaches actually come out and take on a controversial topic.
Yeah, and like sort of back players up too. Yeah, like, I know because in that one of Jay in the alley, like he looked straight away, like he was like, "Oh shit, like what's happened here?" sort of thing. So yeah, it's a very, very, very tough call to make. Like it's very, very, very hard.
We better move on finally to the North Melbourne versus Freo. Now,
hell yeah,
this is a debate argument within itself. Was it out of bounds? Was it?
Nah.
All right.
So they come out and they clarified it.
But
what are you going to argue?
I honestly think they're still wrong. So let me. I might try and get this up.
Here we go.
No, well, I'm just gonna try and do it for some clarity. But now, don't get me wrong. North Melbourne deserved to win. I think that's enough said. But I think the way it went, what happened is they should have got at least a shot. But in saying that, some of the plays by like Sheasel, especially in the dying minutes when he kicked it off the ground to make sure it didn't go through for a point. I think that it's
very smart.
Yeah. And I
very smart for a second gamer for that matter.
Yeah. I'm still trying to find it. You talk about your North boys a little bit while I try to find it.
Oh, mate. Well, unfortunately, I was actually at a wedding, so I couldn't watch the game. But I was keeping track of it because the groom is a North supporter as well. So I was definitely keeping tabs on it. But I didn't get to see a lot of it, and I haven't seen any highlights as yet, apart from the ones that like the Sheasel kick and all that sort of thing. And then, very, very happy with how he's going. Very, very happy with how he's going. Griffin Logue's been awesome. I'm wrapped with how he's playing. And I think it's only going to get better too with Ben Mackay.
Yeah,
he's at Carlton. Ben's at North. With Ben coming back as well, I think he's gonna take probably the more, not the more important, but the bigger forward, and Griffin Logue will be able to play off a little bit. That'll help out Aiden Core as well. So I think our backline for the first time in a long time is looking very, very settled, which is a positive. So I'm happy with how we're going so far. I'm very happy.
Now I'm going to share the screen if I can figure out how to get to it.
Be tech savvy.
All right, can you see that?
Hey.
All right, let's.
No volume, bro. Can't hear the siren, sorry.
Is there no volume?
Nah.
How did you do your volume on yours?
I literally took my headphones out, used the microphone, put it at the speaker of my laptop, and use it like that.
Let me do that.
See?
Let me do that.
Thinking.
All right, let's see.
What are you thinking about?
Can you hear that?
Nope.
Goes out and then the siren sounds. So who's?
Oh yeah, you can now. Start again.
So wait, can you hear it now? I'm so confused if you can hear it or not.
I can hear it for bits.
Nothing.
I couldn't hear it.
Oh God! I'll try one more time with this, and if it doesn't work, then
send me the bloody link.
All go out in the
Stick
siren.
it. Yeah, then you can hear that.
The ball goes out. And then
I can literally hear it next door.
yeah, anyway. My point being that it was over the line. I don't know how it works with the umpiring, whether the umpire has to signal out of bounds before the siren goes, or I don't know how it works, but from just looking at it and the siren going, the ball is nearly bouncing for a second time over the boundary line. But I don't want to rain on North Melbourne's parade because they did deserve it. I just would have liked to have seen, because it would have been a defender going for goal. I would have liked to have seen one of them try and kick a game-winning goal, or at least a game-tying score. But North Melbourne deserved it, and this is it is a very strange start to the season, because you got Essendon that are 2-0, you got St Kilda somehow 2-0, and you've got North Melbourne 2-0, and they're going up against Hawthorn this weekend. I'm pretty sure. Will Alistair Clarkson get a third win in a row against his old team?
3 and zip, baby.
And you know who else is going to be 3 and zip after this week? Me and Supercoach.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm
this guy, at least he's got something fucking going for him.
I'm absolutely cruising on top of the Supercoach. And
I can't wait for you to eat your words at the end of this.
And guess who I just picked up in free agency? This might
Who
make
did you just pick up?
Jack Zeeble. Jack Zeeble.
Who would have thought?
I had him last year, and they moved him down forward, and he did fuck all. But now he's back in the back line. Let's hope he does well. But there was 3 games on Sunday that are all kind of dog shit games, so I don't really want to. There's no point in really touching on any of them, because Swans smashed Hawks. Oh, Brad was there.
Yeah, Brad.
Moving to Melbourne soon.
Hawks are struggling, unfortunately, for Frizy. They're not in a good way at all.
As expected.
My tip for the wooden spoon is not looking good either.
I think I tipped Hawthorn.
I tipped Essendon.
Or GWS. But that's it for the week. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all the AFL. We actually talked about it for a bit longer than usual. So thanks for listening, whether it be Spotify or YouTube. Thanks for joining Sharpie. He's probably not even there.
My mic was muted that whole time. I was saying shit.
Whole time.
Oh my
God. Christ.
I was saying some good
I've
shit
seen it before. I'm like, what is... Oh, wow.
Fuck.
Do you want to repeat some of the stuff? What were you talking? What were you?
I don't know now.
Did you not think that when we weren't responding to you? Oh,
I just thought that you were watching the video. That's why.
And he was just being muted like he is in his family.
Yeah. Oh, and we're a sports podcast. We talk about 2 sports here.
Also, how about Lamar Jackson?
Yes. I mean,
in the NFL,
I kind
somewhat
of
requesting a trade, even though Ian Rappaport said that it's not really requesting a trade because he's franchise tagged and he can go and talk to whoever he wants.
And no one wants to sign him anyway. But
come to Carolina, baby.
And mate, you've got what, the first pick? You're going to get bloody what's his name?
True, actually, that's very true.
Wembanyama.
No, they're going to get Wembanyama.
He could play quarterback.
CJ Stroud. I really hope I might put money on him to go first pick. I'd rather him than Bryce Young if I'm used.
Be one of the 2.
Yeah, it'll be one of the 2.
How about Alabama getting knocked out of
good. I watched that game.
March Madness.
Miller didn't even show up.
I've still got him over Scoot, but
he did not show up. He was dog shit. He was seriously dog shit.
Come on, man.
But anyway, it was not a massive rap on him. But anyway, that's just me personally.
So now there's 4 games. Now we're down to the final 4 of the tournament. We've got
Drew Timmy time, baby.
Interesting. We've got FAU, which I don't know who they are. And then versus San Diego State. And then we got Miami and then UConn. I think FAU's a Florida team. So I think. And I can see Miami. I've got Miami winning the whole thing now.
Ooh.
You're wrong. You're wrong. It's
Okay,
true.
who?
It's true, Timmy. It's Timmy.
Gonzaga and were knocked out by UConn.
Wow.
And UConn jiggle these nuts for that stupid comment.
I only saw the last thing about.
What a way to finish.
I only saw it the other day about him dropping 34 in that close win. But
yeah,
more exciting news: baseball is about to start properly soon. Still got us.
We are
move on. We don't talk about baseball. That's a fucking library sport.
We are a sports podcast.
That is a library sport. Like,
oh, interesting.
It's just boring and quiet.
Oh, let's just go watch NFL where they take breaks every 30 seconds.
We could talk about golf and the match play that's on at the moment, but no, not a sports podcast.
You're the only golfer here. Oh yeah,
F1's this week.
F1's this weekend in Melbourne.
My brother's coming down.
What's that? Bottas? Is it Bottas or Botas or whatever?
Oh, baddest of them all.
Christ.
Boda.
Who is it? Sorry,
Bottas.
He was in.
You only know that because Ryan and I watched the Formula One. You cat.
No, my brother watched it. I know Bottas and Charles Leclerc.
No, he does not.
Bottas was in Marina today.
Will does.
Oh, Will does. I was going to say Nick only watched one race. That was when I was watching it.
And Charles Leclerc.
That, Rocky? Yeah, I'll just keep talking to myself.
No, go Sharpie.
He was in Marina today.
Why?
Was he really?
Yeah, I don't know. He was at. He went to the kindergarten near the pool.
Racing Formula Ones in the kindergarten.
That's so good. I love that.
I was watching it. It came up on the news. I was like, that's a random fucking place to go to.
Ruled out driving in the Bathurst 1000 sometime.
You're kidding.
So no, mate. Fabian Coulthard went to the Indy, drove in the IndyCar, and then he started driving V8 supercars as well from Formula One. So they all do it.
That's one thing I want to like. I want to just watch once because I don't know how they're driving in a circle for however many 100 laps is interesting.
Oh, I'd get dizzy.
Yeah, I want to watch it once, but
you'd be fine though, because at least you drive forward, you don't have to reverse anyway. You'd be fine.
It's in the rain though.
Yes,
I'll probably turn it off.
Reverse park to save his life.
All the cheap shots coming out.
Ollie would turn the TV off if it started raining.
But Charles Leclerc is a fun name to say. That's why
Charles
Leclerc. But also Premier League returning this weekend. Liverpool versus Man City on Saturday night, 10:30 p.m.
The little break may help Liverpool.
Currently, we have the Socceroos hosting Ecuador at the moment.
Right now,
it's 0-0 at the moment. Still,
we should have went, Ollie.
Well, maybe.
Oh,
maybe we should do some more. We'll think about it.
I was saying 2 weeks ago. Even last month that we should have bought tickets to the game.
You're forgetting that we have you mute. You're a mute. Anyway, I said it about 10 minutes ago, but thanks for joining, lads.
You're welcome, mate.
Yeah. Cool. I love talking just about AFL and basketball every week.
Oh, no.
Because the host doesn't want to talk about anything else.
Minutes.
Yeah, you just love not talking for 10 minutes.
Gee, if only you could do that for 10 seconds.
And we'll see you next week.
Ollie's got chompers.